All right, thanks for joining us. This is our group session 2. Real quick, we just recorded the group session and it's quit on us, so I might have one of these young men go check this cam video just to make sure it's still recording, so we're not doing this 5 or 6 times. So these guys are kind of fired up that happened. Anyways, this is our group 2 session, back to school anxiety. If you remember correctly, our boys here had not started school yet. We're up in Tuolumne County. They started yesterday, so this is their second day of school. We're going to go over some tips for managing back to school anxiety that they found to be extremely helpful. First, I'm going to go around the table, let the kids introduce themselves real briefly again and what grade they went into.
Hello, I'm Quentin Solis and I entered 6th grade yesterday.
Hello, I'm Trenton Solis and I entered 8th grade yesterday.
Hello, my name is McLean Solis and I entered 4th grade yesterday.
Perfect. Real quick before we jump into the tips, was there anything about school yesterday that you guys really liked or disliked? Quentin?
I enjoyed seeing my friends again and I liked my new teacher.
Good. Okay. Trent?
I enjoyed seeing my friends study and seeing my new teacher.
Okay. And McLean?
I enjoyed all of my friends that were there and also my new teacher. It's really fun.
Okay. Gotcha. Perfect. I'm going to have Quint walk over there and make sure that's recording still, if you don't mind, Quint, and then come back. We had some audio video issues. Still going? Perfect. So what we're going to do right now, since these kids started back to school, they found some tips or routines that were helpful to get them in the right frame of mind to start school yesterday. Trent's going to discuss briefly a trial run that he did, and I'm going to hand it over to Trent. We can discuss it briefly afterwards. Go ahead, Trent. What's the trial run that you did?
What I did to get prepared for school is that I would go to bed earlier and not stay up so late and wake up earlier so I wouldn't be so sluggish on the first day.
Oh, okay. And when did you do that? Day before, 2 days before?
About Monday.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And were you getting up in the morning making breakfast for yourself during the trial run and lunch, or was it strictly going to bed, getting up at the right time?
Just getting up at the right time.
So that's good. I mean, that's a way to ensure that you're not going to be, like you said, sluggish on that first day. So that's extremely beneficial. I've heard other students do the whole 9 yards, right? Get up, do breakfast, make their lunch. I don't think they actually went down to school, but just an entire trial run. But that's really beneficial. Quentin, you discussed about some role playing that you did.
Yeah, my mom, after school, she wanted me to get ready for homework, so she gave me homework on the first day.
On the first day of school.
But on the second day of school, my actual teacher gave me homework.
So today was your second day of school.
Yeah.
So during the role play, your mom was your teacher, and she was kind of maybe strict and gave you homework, right?
Yeah.
Which wasn't probably the best thing, that you weren't probably super excited about that. But your teacher gave it to you on the second day, so it was something that was coming anyway, so it got you in the right frame of mind again. So, okay, very cool. McLean, you were going to discuss, you got to make your own decisions, huh? Going into 4th grade. Tell us some of those decisions you got to make.
I had to pick in the morning my own clothes I wore, and also I had to make the decisions of what I put in my lunch.
Okay, so you got to decide what you're wearing, and then you got to make your own lunch for the first time. Very cool. And your breakfast, maybe you got up and made it?
Yeah.
And that's something you're going to be doing throughout I would imagine, the rest of the school year now, right?
Yeah.
That's good. All right. So those are all really 3 good tips that these students had to help manage their back to school anxiety. What I'd like to discuss now is about thinking positive, right? When you think positive, you're also more likely to succeed in school and have the right frame of mind instead of being negative. So these kids have already pinpointed some stuff about positives for them. They each went around the table and they said they were excited to see their new friends, right? That's a positive. Each one of them said they were really happy or glad with their new teacher. Is that right?
Yeah.
Again, that's another positive. Trenton is going to be going into 8th grade, so he's going to be having some new activities as far as electives and sports to play. Sounds like he might be doing the robotics program. Again, that's another positive, right? So very cool. I'm going to have Quentin go over and spot check that one more time for us to make sure that's recording. Sorry not to cut in here, but we don't want to have still recording. Perfect. Okay. So the other thing I want to discuss is about managing your commitments the first couple weeks of school, right? You guys have commitments that start all the way when you get up in the morning, when you go to school, all the way till you come back home from school, right? Some of those commitments are getting up on time, getting your breakfast, getting your lunch, right? Those are commitments that you guys have. What are some other commitments you guys can think about that you have to deal with either at home or at school? Yes, McLean.
Not doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing?
Yeah, like not goofing around when you teach it.
Okay.
Is it telling you to?
So that's a commitment that you have to have personally, right? Yeah, that's good. Trenton?
Get ready on time without being asked.
Get ready on time without being asked. That's a big deal. You know, you're to an age now where I'm sure your parents expect you to get up in the morning, eat breakfast, get ready, be ready to get out the door, right? That's a commitment that you have to have, but that also probably helps your parents out too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. What about you, Quinn? You got a commitment either at school or at home?
I have to do my homework when I get home, and I also have to respect my classmates at school.
Gotcha. Okay, so again, doing your homework when you get home, that's a huge commitment, right? And then respecting your other classmates. Respecting your other classmates is a huge positive, not only for yourself and the atmosphere, but also for who? Your teacher? Yeah, because if you're disrespectful in the classroom or you're horsing around, that's a lot harder for the teacher to get people done, and then it affects all the other classmates, right?
Yeah.
So those are two big ones, right? Thinking positive and managing your commitments are both really, really important things that it sounds like you guys have down. So as we go through the rest of the school year, I think these kids obviously are in the right frame of mind, but they still have to have a positive frame of mind, number one, and then continue to manage those commitments. And I think if they can do that, then they're obviously going to continue to excel in their classrooms. So is there anything else you guys want to add as far as stuff that you've kind of noticed the first couple days of school? Or do you feel like you're in the frame of mind now and it's full steam ahead for school?
Like last year, it was easier, but once you enter middle school, it gets harder.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're entering a grade level, 6th grade. So school, do you see a pattern there? School's only going to get harder, right? Each grade level you go up. What about you, McLean?
When I got into school, I
Just anything you can think of to add? Or do you feel like you're in the right frame of mind, you're full steam ahead, you're in school mode now?
yeah, stay ahead. I'm in school.
You're in school mode, okay, good. All right, Trent, anything to add, or do you think you're good to go? You're entering 8th grade, so you're 1 year away from high school, so that's going to be even a bigger challenge. But
I think that you should stay on task and don't fall behind on your school.
that's a good one. Stay on task, don't fall behind, especially this early in the school year. That's a really big one. So that's great. So I think we're going to wrap this up. It's been really beneficial to have these kids do the first session while they were not in school. Second session, they were in school. They just wrapped up their second day of school probably about 25, 30 minutes ago. So it's good to sit down and have the dialogue. And we'll look forward to having session 3 and wrapping this up. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And we'll see you for session 3. Thanks a lot.